Hello and welcome back to Devi Daily Yoga, where we're going to be doing a riverside yoga class using 2 yoga blocks. Yoga blocks are really my very favorite tool for yin yoga, for exploring the poses in different ways. And sometimes they make the pose easier, sometimes they make the pose more intense, and sometimes they just make it different. So this will be a full body practice and a deeply relaxing practice. And we'll go ahead and get started in Seiza pose. So in Seiza, we are sitting on top of the heels, but today we'll explore it with these blocks where you're sitting at the block is at the middle height underneath the sitting bones. Or you could choose to do 2 blocks, one on top of the other, which will be a little bit higher. And whichever way you're choosing to do it, you want to nestle your feet right up next to the sides of the block. Hands can rest on the lap, maybe the palms turning up, and close your eyes, taking about a minute to feel into the body and to connect with your breath. And now inhale, exhale, and inhale, exhale. Taking a few more moments to sit quietly with yourself. You can continue to breathe rhythmically and release any tension that you notice in your body, anything you don't need to be holding right now. Let the corners of the mouth slightly widen and turn up, and let your heart rise. Let the crown of your head rise. And releasing the Seiza pose, let your eyes open. We'll come into a back bend next, so gently move into supported fish. With supported fish, we have 2 blocks to support the upper body. So this one supports the back of the heart, kind of the middle back, and this one supports the back of the head. So this one comes to the high height, and this one comes to the middle height. Or you might like them a little bit different, or you might have slightly different size blocks. So this is something you play around with as you come back. Find that place where the block just catches the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. And then the other block comes right to the base of your skull. And now bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees wide. Relax the legs out. And let the arms rest at your sides. So fine-tuning your pose so that you feel comfortable, so your block heights feel comfortable. And letting yourself soften into the support. Begin to tune into your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. And this time, as you exhale, really let your body release and surrender. Breathing into this open chest, open belly. Wherever you are right now, see if you can soften a little bit more. See if you can relax into this shape a little bit more deeply. And now with your next inhale, just stretch your arms up over your head so that they hang toward the ground. Interlace your fingers and press your palms away. Inhaling a deep breath here, like a big yawning inhale. And as you exhale, let the arms come out, draw the legs together, and very slowly make your way off of these blocks. Put the blocks aside and rest on your back, taking a rebound in any comfortable position on your back. Spreading the arms and legs out to a comfortable angle. And noticing and feeling what's happening inside your body. Notice the energy that's moving and flowing. And now taking the knees in toward the chest, hug your arms around your legs, gently rock side to side, feeling the lower back. And now roll all the way over to the side, coming up to hands and knees for dragon pose. Taking your 2 blocks under your hands for dragon with blocks under the hands. Right leg comes forward and the blocks will be at the high height. And now we'll like to place these blocks right underneath the shoulders so that you can kind of just rest into the bones of your arms here. And it's wonderful to do the pose this way because you can feel the back bend quite a bit, especially if you let your hips sink down. There's a back bend happening that is mostly probably felt on the left side of your body. The sacrum, lower back on the left side. Connecting with your body and connecting with your breath as you soften into this pose. Especially soften the lower body, soften the feet, the legs, the thighs. And from here, shifting right into half split. Take your hips back and come forward over your leg. You might want to keep your hands right under your shoulders, or you might want to walk them forward with the blocks. And this could stay at the high height with the blocks, or you could go lower, depending on what feels good. The target area is the hamstrings, the back of your right leg. And as we hold this in a more relaxed yin way, you can let your shoulders and head relax. You can let your spine soften and round. Letting yourself surrender into gravity. inviting the body to soften. And slowly releasing, coming forward and taking downward dog now with the blocks under the hands. So take your blocks at their lowest height and step it back and just walk it out, feeling the legs after those two postures on one side. And yes, we are headed to the other side. So let's drop the knees now, taking it into dragon pose on the second side, left leg forward. The blocks come up to the highest height once again, and the hands come right under the shoulders. And allowing your hips to soften and sink down. Shoulders back. Crown of the head can be rising. And the spine, finding this back bend in the sacrum, the lumbar spine. Breathing into the stretch. You might be feeling a good deal of sensation in the front of the right thigh and the front of the right hip, and you can breathe right into this area. Inhaling and exhaling to soften and relax a little bit more. And now very slowly releasing dragon and making your way into the half split pose, shifting the hips back and adjusting your block position and your block height to whatever feels right for your body. And once you're there, soften your shoulders, soften your head, soften your spine. Breathing into the stretch in the left hamstrings. If you want to feel this pose more, you could always inch your right knee back a little more. Or go lower with the blocks. Or remove the blocks. And as you take your next inhale, breathe right into your back body. And exhaling, relax and surrender. And slowly releasing, bringing it forward, into the lunge, and now back into downward dog with the blocks at that low height. Stepping back, and again finding some movement in the legs, bending one knee at a time as you press the opposite heel down. And now dropping it into child's pose and resting in child's pose, taking a rebound here, taking this time with the arms extended forward, the forehead resting on the earth, feeling the effects of the postures. Dragon and half split pose. Noticing what your body is feeling, noticing what energy is moving through you. And slowly coming up from child's pose and all the way onto your belly with your blocks under your forearms for Sphinx with blocks. So elbows and forearms on the blocks as you settle your hips down. And now your hands, maybe they like to just clasp, maybe your palms come up, maybe your palms come down. And see how wide your legs want to be, maybe as wide as your mat, or maybe narrower. Finding your back bend here, adjusting the arms, adjusting the position of the legs so that you feel comfortable, softening in the area of your pelvis, relaxing through the low belly and breathing into this area. Pelvis, lower back, belly. Softening, pelvis, lower back, belly. Softening and relaxing the legs. And now very slowly coming out of Sphinx, getting your blocks out of the way. And making your way into child's pose. This time in child's, we'll take the arms down along the side of the body and rest here. Feeling this rebound time and a little bit of a counter stretch with your lower back bending the opposite way. Breathing into your back body and exhaling, softening. And slowly rising up, taking it into a sleeping swan pose. And we'll just have the option to use a block under the head, but maybe also under the hip. So if you slide your right knee forward from hands and knees, turn your foot and settle down. And you might like this feeling of extra support under the hip here. And if you don't feel like you need that, then keep it out of the picture. Your forehead can rest on your block at whatever height you like. And relaxing into the pose. With the stretch in the right glutes being our target. So if you need to, if you're not getting that stretch, then shift around, maybe move your knee to a different place or shift your hips to the right or to the left till you find that. You can even bend the back knee, sit over on the hip, whatever feels like the best way to stretch into your right buttock, right glutes. And once you've found the position, once you are taking the pose that feels wonderful for your body, then let's take a deep breath in to fill the heart, to fill the back. And exhale and soften a little more. Now slowly coming up and slowly changing sides, sliding the right knee back, sliding the left knee forward, turning on the shin, and coming into your version of sleeping swan. With the stretch now on the left glutes, adjusting the front leg or adjusting the hips till you find that. Inhaling to fill the body with fresh energy and exhaling to soften. And now slowly releasing, coming out of sleeping swan and making your way onto your back for a rebound. Spreading out arms and legs. Any comfortable position on your back is fine here as you feel the effects of the pose. Maybe feeling the line of the outer hips down the outsides of the legs after that pose. Maybe feeling some lower back sacrum sensations. And now bend the knees, hug them into your chest. Wrap the arms around the legs. Take a moment to lift your head up toward your knees. Squeeze into a ball. Wrap your arms tight around your legs and releasing back down. So feet finding the ground. Take one of your blocks underneath your hips at the middle height. This is our Golden Gate pose. And extend your legs and let your feet maybe come as wide apart as your mat, or you can play around with that distance between the feet to do it whatever way feels good. Arms can be down along your sides or angled out at whatever angle feels good. As we lengthen into the front of the hips, the hip flexors. Notice also maybe a sensation of the lower back, the sacrum being gently and therapeutically kind of stimulated here. And breathe into what you're feeling. As you breathe out, surrendering, relaxing. And now releasing, transitioning from here, keep your block under your hips. We're going to move into some semblance of an inversion. So we begin by sending the legs straight up. And you might like this one block arrangement, or you might want a little more height or a little more support, in which case you'll take two blocks on top of each other at their lowest height, and you can lift your legs up from there. And where we're going is a snail pose that is supported. So snail, otherwise known as halasana. I like to tilt my blocks like this so that the face of the block kind of meets my sacrum, so I'm not on the edge of a block. If you're lucky enough to have one of those rounded blocks on hand, then this is definitely a good time to use those. But otherwise, just letting the legs come over, and this is as far as we need to go. We're not going to necessarily send the legs over the head, although if that's part of your practice and that's where you want to go, please feel free to let your hips come up and over and do the thing. Whichever version you're in, feeling a sense of length and stretch in the backs of the legs, in the lower back, maybe farther up into the middle back and the upper back. Breathing wherever you are, taking an inhale and an exhale. Might feel good to hold your feet or to just let your arms relax down. And now slowly bring the legs back up, and 1 foot at a time, confine the earth. And press your hips up to remove your blocks and come into a final relaxation position, which could be a pentacle pose, just spreading out arms and legs, or it could be a Supta Baddha Konasana with blocks under the outsides of your knees. Maybe you like the blocks under the calves, maybe you like them under the thighs or the knees themselves. Hands resting on the belly, one hand on the upper abdomen, one hand on the lower abdomen. Making any final adjustments as we settle into this final relaxation, this time of the big rebound, we could call it, when we really feel the effects of all the different poses, all the different ways that these blocks have supported this body, all of the different ways that this body has chosen to surrender and soften. Now just noticing the results, noticing the energy, breathing into what you feel and breathing out. In and out. Relaxing the weight of your entire body into the earth. Letting go. Now taking a deeper breath in. And as you exhale, stretch your arms slowly up over your head. Stretch your legs long down your mat. Interlace the fingers and press the palms away as you press down through the soles of your feet. And now bend your knees and slowly roll over onto one side. And make your way up. And taking a cross-legged seat. Resting the hands on the legs in a comfortable way. Close your eyes, let your spine be tall. And making this very gentle transition to being upright, to welcoming the energies of the day, if it's the morning for you, or welcoming maybe the relaxation of sleep. Whatever it is that is ahead for you, welcoming an open heart, an easy breath, a clear mind, and a relaxed body. That is our practice today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.